From Los Angeles, the news capital of the world, it's No You Shut Up. And now, here's your host, me.
You can do this! Hello and welcome to No You Shut Up. I'm Paul F. Tompkins. Later in the show, Undateable's Ron Funches will join us to talk about starting a war with Russia. And why are we putting a lump of coal in the Netherlands stocking? Here's a hint. It's probably because they're racist. But first, have you ever wondered why animals don't wear clothes? Obviously, it's because there are no animal clothing stores. Animals lack the patience to sit through a proper fitting. Also, as far as we know, animals don't have their own currency. It's always been this way, and it always will be. Or so it seemed. Recently, in Poland, Winnie the Pooh has been banned as a mascot of a Polish playground because of his lack of pants. According to the Polish councilman responsible for the ban, the bear doesn't have a complete wardrobe and is wholly inappropriate for children. Now, in nature, no bears wear pants. So is a bear only considered pantless if it's wearing a shirt? The Polish government has effectively made a ruling that equates bears with human beings, as far as pantslessness is concerned. It remains to be seen whether this will lead Poland to become the first country to condone human ursine marriage. We'll be following this story very closely. Watch this space. A recent Pentagon study revealed that America's nuclear arsenal is in a woeful state of disrepair, suffering from widespread budget cuts since the end of the Cold War. Our nuclear weapons are now out of date and poorly maintained. With more on this, political radio personality Bo Beetle with his segment, Bo Knows.
This is some scary, scary stuff. We've let our nuclear arsenal run fallow, and we're just waiting for the other shoe to drop. I mean, this country was built on the idea that we pay taxes. And those taxes, in turn, pay for men to hold guns and protect us. And this is why we need to stand up for our veterans. And 9/11!
Okay, I'll let that go. I suppose what many people are wondering is how bad did things get? Was the public ever in any danger?
These missile silos, they have a special wrench that they use to tighten up the nuclear warheads. And get this, Paul. 3 nuclear silos were FedExing one wrench back and forth to each other. Meanwhile, Putin's watching this on closed-circuit television, being like, ah ha ha, ah ha ha. I mean, what's going on with gay marriage? Just go smoke your pot.
I almost feel as if we're getting off track.
And this president's over there like, we got a runner. Look out, it's the White House. Texting? You're gonna tell me you were texting? You know how long I worked in security, Paul? I once bought 3 pounds of that boar's head pepper turkey, and my dogs got into it while I was at work. No, thank you. Benghazi! Ah!
Thank you, Bo Beetle. Go put a wallet in your mouth. No one could have predicted President Obama's meteoric rise to the presidency in 2008. But since that election, analysts have tried desperately to project election results using advanced statistics. Here with his predictions for the 2016 presidential race is libertarian hermit Bigfoot. Bigfoot, hello.
Hello there, Paul. It's a pleasure to be back here again.
So tell me, Bigfoot, based on your analysis, what can we expect in the 2016 election?
Well, if you want my real opinion, Paul, which I'm pretty sure you don't, the answer is that nobody knows. All those charlatan Nate Silver-esque number crunchers are just plain full of squirrel scat, if you ask me. But what you want is a pie chart, right, Paul?
I thought you had prepared
Let's give him a pie chart. Oh, look, here's one right here. Isn't that wonderful? Pie charts, full of pie. Blueberry, blackberry, my oh my. Let's go back to my cave, Paul.
Why are you singing?
This is about politics, right? Let's do a little show for the people.
Okay, you're clearly mocking your own segment, which is weird. I can see by your chart, 75% of voters that cast a ballot were white, while only 3% were Asian. So what can we learn or decipher from that information?
I think you can learn that 75% of the people that cast a ballot were white and 3% were Asian. We also just learned that you can read, Paul.
Oh, okay. Do you have a chart that can speak to the 2016 elections?
Oh, that's what you want, Paul, another chart? Hey, let's bring in another chart. Paul wants to see some charts,
Yeah,
everyone.
wouldn't mind it.
Let's see some pie charts. Pie chart, lemon meringue, pecan, rhubarb, that's my thing. I'm lurking in your bushes, and I like to watch you sleep.
That one took a turn. At first blush, this chart makes no sense. You have just put some colors segmented into pie pieces, and there's no numbers.
You want to see another chart, Paul?
Why not?
Why not?
Why
might
not?
as well. We're here on television. We might as well look at charts,
Yeah,
right?
we got time
Can we
to
have another?
fill.
Let's look at another chart. Oh, look at this one coming in. That's a good one, huh, Paul?
Good one, Bigfoot. Good one. It's a picture of a pie.
That's a pie chart right there.
Uh-huh.
Guess what I also did, Paul?
What's that?
I made you a pie.
Okay,
Look at
so you have a pie chart that's just a picture of a pie.
Yeah.
And then here's a real pie.
That one I made from scratch in my yurt. Why don't you have a slice, Paul?
Well, that was Bigfoot with nothing.
Except some delicious pie.
Nope. Well, you did bring a pie. The holiday season is upon us, and in case you didn't know, the Dutch celebrate Christmas on the same day we do, but they do it with a little more casual racism. Protests have sprung up all over the Netherlands against the strange but beloved folk character Black Peter. Legend holds that Black Peter is Santa's helper, but many see the character as a racist holdover from the colonial era. To help us understand this complex issue, we're now joined by 22-term conservative Senator George Galapagos. Senator.
Thank you, Paul. There were indeed riots as Black Pete stepped off his boat in the Netherlands. The last time there was a Dutch riot was when they ran out of tulips. Very weird people, the Dutch. Now, Black Peter brings mirth and treat to children. The issue, though, is Black Pete may be black, but he's played by a white person in a frizzy wig with bright red lips and you'll enjoy this, and blackface. Oh, look how much fun this Caucasian is having.
That is absolutely awful.
Oh, Paul, stop being such a PC ninny. A little bit of blackface never hurt anybody.
I cannot imagine a statement that is more wrong.
What I'm saying is there's a double standard. Forget Black Pete. Santa Claus has placed a dire burden on the most oppressed and vulnerable Americans. Old white men with beards.
Senator, I hope this doesn't sound disrespectful. Did you just go senile?
I have not. I simply identify as an old bearded white man. And it's not easy for us old bearded white men.
So let me get this straight. You identify as a bearded old white man, even though, and correct me if I'm wrong, you physically have none of those characteristics.
That's right.
If you don't mind, just to help me out, can I try something?
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay. Get that on there, right?
Oh.
And then we'll just put, yeah, okay, yeah.
Oh. How comical.
All right. Could I have one of those Apple iWatches? I've been a good boy all year.
Oh, stop it now. You're just trying to play around with me.
Just having
like
fun.
all those little kids out there.
Oh, come on.
Paul, you've done it. I'm out of here. Puh.
Well, it's just trying to have... We here at No You Shut Up often wish we could know what's on the minds of you, the viewers. But mind reading only exists in the X-Men films. Oh, and that one movie with Mel Gibson where he could hear ladies' thoughts. So since Professor X and Mel Gibson's character from Lady Thoughts aren't on our payroll, we sent one of our correspondents to the street to talk to some real people. For this week's The Question, here's a big dumb bird.
I'm a bird. I'm asking questions. Questions have words. Is our legal system blind to race when determining guilt?
Yes, no, it's not.
You're
It is-
confused. Is our legal system blind to race when determining guilt? What?
There's been a case that's been going on, the outbreak of it, the Mike Brown situation.
Racing is fast. Why are blind people guilty about racing? Why is being blind illegal? Do you race blind people? People who are in a race have to win. That man's running. Judge Judy is the law. We're talking at the same time. We're different.
Yes, I don't have feathers and I'm not white.
I'm white.
You are white.
I'm the man. Jinx. 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 I'm a bird. I asked a question. I'm gonna eat garbage.
Thanks, you dumb bird. Coming up, what's buried in your backyard? And can you die from smiling? You won't find out when No You Shut Up returns. Welcome back. Though a story may be small, it doesn't mean that it has to miss the bigger picture. Now it's time for Small Story, Big Picture. This week, we venture across the pond to the sleepy county of West Sussex, England, where the town of Pilgrim's Walk was met with the odd and shocking death of one of man's favorite aquatic mammals. The Argus reports that early in the evening on November 1st, a porpoise was discovered dead in an alleyway. According to the autopsy carried out on the porpoise, it was likely to have died from starvation after using too much energy while mating. So there you have it. A porpoise that, for lack of a better term, sexed around to death. End of small story. Or is there a bigger picture? The alleyway in which the porpoise was left like yesterday's rubbish, British speak for trash, was about a mile inland. So some sick individuals intentionally carried the corpse there as part of what is being reported as a prank. A prank? Historically, pranks are things like those tiny buzzers that gently shock the hand of an acquaintance during traditional greeting ceremonies. Trick gum that doesn't behave like most known gums. A silly cushion that projects gastrointestinal distress on a hapless dupe. Those are pranks. What happened here is a crime against decency. Not the porpoise thing. Yes, a porpoise perished, but the greater loss here is the definition of simple tomfoolery. So the next time George Clooney makes a film and wants to have some off-camera fun, what's to stop him from placing a rotting corpse of a large sea creature in Brad Pitt's trailer? Nothing. After all, it's just a prank. And that's a small story within a bigger picture. Imagine writing a letter to your past self. What would you say? You'd have the chance to give yourself advice, change your opinions on important issues, or right your most egregious wrongs. Well, your past self would never be able to read it, so that would be a waste of time. But while you can't change the past, you can still affect the future. Here with our Emmy-submitted segment, Letter to My Future Self, is Ron Funches. Ron, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me, Paul.
And thank you for taking part in our little experiment, if you will.
Of course.
Now, many people will know you as one of the stars of NBC's Undateable.
I hope so.
And you play one of the Undateables.
I am one of the Undateables. We don't know why I'm undateable. I mean, it's not clear offhand.
Now, it's not a family and their last name is Undateable. You don't play Ron Undateable.
I'm not Ron Undateable. I pitched that originally, but they didn't want to go for that. So it's more like I'm Shelley and I am undateable.
Now, Ron, thank you for participating in our segment, Letter to My Future Self. And I understand you actually wrote a letter to your future self.
Yes, I did, Paul.
Oh, it says for Ron.
How else would I know who it's for? Dear future self, I hope you still like pizza. I love pizza. Ooh, let's go get a pizza, but don't get up now. Let's wait till this interview's over and then go get a pizza. That'd be rude. Maybe ask someone in the studio where the closest pizza place is. You don't want to just trust Yelp. I mean, they are very vindictive with their reviews. You don't want to drive around looking for just any pizza place and maybe ask Paul if he wants to go. Sure, he'll say no, he's a busy man. But it'll make you feel good just for asking. That's pretty much it. Stay cool. Sincerely, Ron Funches.
Well, I guess we probably could have suggested that the letter have more emotional weight to it, or at least be farther into the future, but that's on us. More when we return. I'm very sorry. We didn't think this segment through. And
it was great.
Well, you did as good a job as anyone could do, I think, but
thank you.
It was a mistake. Aristocrats.
Yeah.
Oh, my word.
Welcome back. Joining me now on the panel, radio personality Bo Beetle, celebutante Princess, Senator George Galapagos, and comedian Ron Funches. Our roundtable topic this week, Russiagate. Since invading the Ukraine in February, the world has been put on high alert in regard to the former Soviet Union. Now, a series of international incidents have some thinking the days of a new Cold War may not be far away. Panel, should we be worried about Russia, or is this much ado about nothing? Bo Beetle.
This is some Red Dawn happening. And I'm talking about the old one, not the remake. I made myself a sandwich yesterday, Paul. You know what I did? I ate it. Because that's what people do. They eat the food they're given.
Okay, that almost sounded like something. Senator, what do you think? Should we be worried about Russia?
Absolutely not. Listen, we should be worried about real threats like hemorrhoids or reverse mortgages.
Between hemorrhoids and reverse mortgages, which do you think we have to be worried about more?
Reverse mortgages.
Wouldn't a reverse mortgage mean you just don't have a mortgage?
Paul, could I say something? Because
Oh, Ron, absolutely. Unfortunately, I forgot to introduce this earlier. Because adults playing silly games is so popular on television right now, we're going to have you playing a game called Panel Cookies. And you'll have these fortune cookies, and before you answer anything, you have to open a fortune cookie and then incorporate the fortune into your answer in a naturalistic sounding way.
I mean, I studied the Cold War for several years.
That's great, and we really look forward to hearing your analysis, but you do have to work that fortune in there in a sort of natural sounding way.
The cookie.
The U.S. and Europe imposed sanctions against Russia after it invaded Crimea, and these sanctions cost Russia an estimated $40 billion a year. That's billion with a B. Are sanctions an effective tool of diplomacy?
Let's bomb Russia. That's the only effective tool of diplomacy that I know. Gay marriage is not gonna stop.
Okay, I don't know how gay marriage got in there, but
All I know is, next time you should order the shrimp, you know?
What does that have to do with the Cold War, potential Cold War?
Makes no sense.
I mean, you're the...
No, I understand, but you have to incorporate it naturalistically into...
You never know what people want culturally. Next time, order the shrimp.
A mystery satellite was launched into orbit by the Russians in May, and first it was considered space junk, but its precise movements have some thinking that may actually be a weapon. Should we be afraid?
Obama's too soft for space war. He can't even fight an Earth war. You tell me he's gonna put boots in the sky? Jimmy crack corn and I do care.
Okay, I feel like we're getting a little off track here.
All I know is that new and rewarding opportunities will soon develop for you.
Bingo. I couldn't have said it better, Ron.
And could you frame that in some sort of idea pertaining to potential Cold War?
I mean, I think it's clear as day.
I do too.
If you're looking at it in the negative, you're just thinking, oh, Cold War, death, destruction. But think about the opportunities that may come.
That's right. You tell them, Ron.
Okay,
Yeah,
Senator, what are some of the opportunities that might come?
Well, we'll get into a Cold War again. We'll employ people. We'll manufacture weapons. Did you know the marshmallow comes out of a desperate need of World War II?
I mean, that's not what I'm trying to say here. I'm definitely not trying to warm up.
Cookie, you gotta, yeah.
Including others in your life will bring you great happiness.
So are you suggesting we befriend Vladimir Putin?
Just reading, I'm playing the game you made me play.
But you're not doing a very good job of making your point, Ron.
Well, maybe he needs friends. You know, I know a lot of girls who are all flash and they're constantly talking about how tight their vaginas are. And it's so boring, but you realize they're just sad and alone. So maybe Putin just wants friends.
All I know is that old age is always 20 years older than you are.
That's funny stuff there.
An unexplained flash appeared in the atmosphere over Russia recently, and scientists have still not figured out what it was. Some guesses include a meteor, but other guesses include a military test of some kind. We now go to Gulag, the Sochi stray dog, who is reporting live from the scene of the explosion somewhere in Russia. Gulag, what is the mood there?
This is the most exciting thing to happen in this cold, desolate place in over 547 years. I mean, this explosion was so big. Every single person out here got video of it on their dashboard cams. It was everything Russians love. It was explosion, it was dashboard cam.
Seriously, Gulag, do you have any idea what this thing was?
I know exactly what it was, Paul. A distraction. A moment of unbridled excitement. As soon as the sun rises, some Putin-led dog extermination squad will find me and kick in my face.
Gulag, the stray dog from Sochi.
Ugh, that was a terrible interview. He's giving dogs a bad name.
Well, he's trying as hard as he can. I mean, it's a very difficult situation.
Well,
he's trying as hard as he can.
Screaming constantly.
I'm screaming because
Now,
people are
let's
listening.
be civil towards the other panelists. No, you can't say that about him. Don't you tell But I don't know if 3 feet is deep enough because I feel like you could still sort of see that there's a person under there. Yeah. Welcome back. Okay, it's time for our panel to sound off. Gang, who should shut up this week? Princess.
You know who's still bothering me? Elaine Burton. She married Charles Manson. Okay, yeah, he's a murderer, but he's famous, and she is not. Maybe I'm just upset because I've always been a squeaky frome Charles Manson shipper, but shut up, Elaine Burton.
Bo Beetle.
Yeah, you know who I want to shut up? Miss Pitt herself, Angelina Voight Jolie. In an interview with Du Jour magazine, she revealed that she's ready to quit acting, saying she's never been comfortable as an actor. Oh, I never loved being in front of the camera, she says. Boo hoo 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 hibbity ho. Yeah, my little thorax is breaking for you. You know who wishes they were in pictures? Disabled veterans, that's who.
You're saying that disabled veterans wish they were in the movies?
Nick, Nack, Paddywhack, give a dog a bone.
That's just nonsense. Senator George Galapagos.
Well, I nominate the annual monstrosity known as SantaCon to shut the hell up. Have you seen this garbage? A bunch of drunk frat boys dressed as Santa running around with their ding-dongs out. I've been cleaning the puke, piss, and tinsel off my lawn since last December. Men dress like Grinches, women dress like men. Clean up your act and go to church!
Ron Funches, who should shut up?
I'm not one to tell people to shut up. That seems rude. But I do want to say keep it up to rainbows. I feel like if they keep trying, they can become a full circle, and I really like that.
As for me, cargo shorts. Do we really need them? Yes, slightly bigger shorts with all of those unnecessary pockets. Come on. Honestly, I can't think of a reason to have that many big pockets unless you have a bunch of wallets. And if you do have more than one wallet, well, then I don't want to be your friend. Ostentatious. Speaking of pockets, what about those tiny pockets on top of the existing front pockets? What are those for? Let me guess. Tinier wallets? Pathetic. Now, I know what you're all thinking. Give cargo shorts a chance to respond, Paul. Let them plead their case. Look, I believe in due process, but since cargo shorts can't talk, I'm going to assume that I'm right. And if they can talk, well, then won't we all be weirdly surprised? Well, that's all for this episode of No You Shut Up. Tune in next time, and until then, you shut up.
Ain't nothing in this world is difficult if one sets their mind to it.
Did you take some of those?
I mean, for home.
Well, they were for the property of the show. I mean...
But I don't have any cookies at home.
I guess it's okay, but, you know, you could ask.
I thought you'd say no.
Ron, I would have said yes.